Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're jumping right in to the mastery of light and distance. We're going to explore exactly how you can completely transform your portrait lighting and honestly, your entire approach to capturing images without spending a single dime on new gear. Let's get right to it.
So, why do your portraits look flat? Man, it is literally one of the most frustrating things, isn't it? You've got a great camera, an amazing subject, the location is beautiful, but then you look at the back of the screen and the image just lacks that professional pop. It feels two-dimensional, kind of lifeless, right? It just lacks depth and drama. We have all been there, staring at a portrait, just scratching our heads, wondering what the missing ingredient is. It's such a common pain point, and it can really shake your confidence when your results just aren't matching your vision. Okay, let's dive into this.
When our portraits look flat, our immediate instinct, well, for so many of us anyway, is to just open our wallets. We think, oh, I definitely need a newer camera body, or I need a sharper lens, or maybe some incredibly expensive, complicated new flash modifier. But here's the secret. You don't. You absolutely do not need to buy expensive new gear to fix this problem. We're looking at the only lighting rule you need. You simply need to understand one single foundational rule. Just one rule that dictates exactly how light interacts with your subject.
And that rule is the inverse square law. Now, I know, it sounds like a terrifying calculus equation that's going to put us all to sleep. But stick with me here. I promise it's actually an incredibly practical tool. Today, we're stripping away the boring textbook theory and focusing strictly on the practical science of light intensity. This law details exactly how light falls off rapidly and spreads out over distance. It is not some abstract theory, it's the literal physical reality of the universe that you can leverage on your very next portrait shoot.
So, look, it's not complicated math. It's just moving a light stand. We aren't going to get bogged down in nerdy calculations today. Actually, scratch that. We're not doing any math at all. Instead, we're looking at the physical reality of what happens on set. When we talk about the inverse square law in practical photography terms, it boils down to something remarkably simple. Literally just moving a light stand. It is entirely about understanding the physical relationship and the physical distance between your light source and your subject.
Let's move to unpacking the science and see how this builds. Let's break down exactly what happens to light as it travels through the air so you can actually manipulate it. Because once you can visualize this invisible process happening right in front of your lens, you suddenly have the master key to controlling your final image.
Here is the behavior of traveling light. There are two crucial behaviors here, and I really want you to let this sink in. Light falls off rapidly, and it spreads out the further it travels. Think about that for a second. The moment light leaves your flash or streams through a window, it doesn't just travel in a perfect uniform line forever. It dramatically loses its power, falling off rapidly. And as it loses that power, it scatters. It spreads out over a much wider area. This rapid fall-off and spreading, that is the secret invisible force shaping every single photo you take.
And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast. When you have your light source in close proximity to your subject, you get a focused beam with incredibly high intensity. The light just hasn't had the time or the distance to scatter yet. Versus when you place that light at a far distance, by the time the light reaches your subject from all the way across the room, it is spread out significantly, resulting in a rapid fall-off in that intensity. You are fundamentally changing the very nature of the light simply by deciding how far it has to travel.
So, how do we actually apply this science to step-by-step portrait lighting? Let's walk through a real-world scenario. Imagine you're on set right now. Your camera's in your hand, your subject is right in front of you, and you are ready to craft a beautiful portrait. We're going to use the inverse square law not as some annoying math problem, but as an exact, repeatable step-by-step process to instantly elevate your lighting.
Okay, here is what I want you to do. Step 1, position your light far away from your subject. Just push it way back. Step 2, take a test shot and observe the light spreading out. Notice how flat and kind of low intensity the light feels on their face because of that vast distance. Okay, now for the magic. Step 3. Move your subject closer to the light source. Physically pull that light stand right up to the edge of your frame, just out of the shot, or physically walk your subject closer to the window. You are actively reducing the distance the light has to travel, stopping it from spreading out and losing its intensity before it hits their face.
So the crucial point is, moving a subject closer to a light source completely changes the intensity and quality of a portrait. By simply closing that gap, you are taking a flat, washed-out image and injecting it with rich intensity and stunning quality. Distance isn't just about how you frame your shot. Distance is literally the ultimate control dial for your lighting.
Ultimately, mastering the inverse square law means mastering light and distance.
You are taking the physical science of light intensity and turning it into your absolute greatest creative tool. By understanding that light falls off rapidly and spreads out the further it travels away from a subject, you gain total control over the mood, the depth, and the professional quality of your work. You're no longer just guessing and hoping for the best, you're intentionally shaping the light like a pro.
I want to leave you with a bit of a challenge. You now have the knowledge of exactly how powerful this single rule is. You know for a fact that you don't need fancy new gear, you literally just need to move your light stand. So, how will you experiment with distance on your very next portrait shoot? Are you going to push the light far away for a soft, scattered look, or will you pull it in super tight for dramatic, high-intensity contrast? Get out there, play with that distance, and watch your portraits absolutely come alive.